Howdy people, you may recognize this setup here from a different video where I was working on that pitcher pump, and this here is adding in the electric pump to this, and I couldn't find a good video or diagram online anywhere for this. Maybe I just couldn't find it, maybe it doesn't exist, but anyway, so I am making this video partly for that, to help anybody out if they're doing a dual setup here. And so let's begin. And this is the tee-off that goes to the electric pump, and just lining up everything right now to make sure all the pieces are going to work. And this will actually be drilled through the side right down here. The next step here is installing the check valve that goes below the pitcher pump, and this prevents the electric motor from sucking air back through the pitcher pump. And I'm doing a lot of this one-handed, which is not the best decision ever, but it is what it is. And here we are putting these pieces here together. And you see the brass is the backflow. And that pitcher pump assembly with that valve installs right here on the top. And this is just getting things lined up for the T that will go across to the electric motor. Now let's pull. Can't do this one-handed. This is showing where the installer of this well scammed them and put these cuts in here to bring water in, but there's no foot on it, so it doesn't keep any water, and you have to prime it after every single use. Here we are taking our final measurements to make sure this tee-off goes through the outer pipe at the right place and everything lines up. Time to mark and drill a hole. Wish me luck. We are going to try to go slow and keep as many of the plastic chips out of the inside of the well pipe. Just better not to have that plastic down there. Now we're going to set the pump in and see how well our hole lines up. And this is the T going across to the electric pump, and this right here should have been a threaded connection, but God knows how many months it would take to wait because there were none in stock. And here we're looking at the foot valve at the bottom, and this is the old piece that we cut out that was in there, and that's the difference. But we've got to stick this back down into the well to hook everything together. And we're going to drop this down into the well pipe. If you've been paying attention, you'll realize that this clip right here was actually before putting the pitcher pump back in and gluing the piece we just glued. This was actually done before that. It's just out of order, and I don't feel like going back and editing. But that string is just so that pipe won't fall too far down and we don't lose it down the tube. Here's a last look at the pitcher pump side as we set it down into the tube. This filter was not used because it's thread-on, and there's nothing with the right size threads in the country for it to work. It always leaked, so it was taken out of the final setup. We're now getting into the electric pump side of it, and the brass fitting down there, that is a backflow, and that is so the pitcher pump doesn't try to suck water from the electric pump side of the setup. And this is their version of a quick connect for a water line in this country. and not very good video, but it's just threads on and squeezes everything together. So what we have is the existing pitcher pump, and then the electric pump has been added onto it for sake of convenience, but there's electric is awful here, and you have power outages all the time. It's sometimes every day. So we're leaving the pitcher pump as a backup, but like I said, couldn't find a diagram. So essentially what you have is your well is coming here, and at the bottom of the well there is a foot valve. Basically it's a check valve that keeps the water primed above, so you don't have to reprime the pump every time you're using it, and it's a check valve at the bottom that takes care of that. In addition, which you can't see, there's another valve in here. Actually it's above this pipe here. There's another valve before you get up to the pitcher pump, so that when the electric pump kicks in and it's suctioning water through here, it can't suck air back from here. It can only suck down from the well. This is another one, and you can see this one's exposed. This is another check valve, and this is backwards, and what this does is this prevents the pitcher pump, when you're pumping the pitcher pump, it prevents it from trying to pull water out of the electric pump. So that makes it where it can only pull water up. So there's the foot valve at the bottom that keeps the whole thing primed, and then there's a check valve here and a check valve here, so that we can run both the manual and the electric pump at the same time. So there again, I'm going to walk through this and we'll go through all the good fun stuff, and somewhere in this video I will put a diagram so that if anyone actually needs it, they can pause the video, find the diagram, and see exactly how I did this. And before anyone points it out, I know that's supposed to be on a breaker, and it will be, just haven't got around to it. Alright, this is both setups. This is down in the well, and you have your foot valve, that's arrow right here. The foot valve prevents the water from coming back down. The water can only go the direction of the arrow, so it only goes up. So through the pitcher pump or the electric pump here, the water always comes up. When it comes up, 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 manual pump, pitcher pump, it goes through this valve. It comes through this original valve, and then I've also got this valve here, which allows the water to only come up into the pitcher pump. The reason for this is because we have the electric pump, which is drawing water in this way. Without this, it could potentially draw water from up or down. If it draws from down, it's going to pull in water, but if it pulls it back here, you're going to draw in air. So that prevents the water from not the water, but it prevents the electric pump from sucking air backwards through here. This second valve here, again with the arrow, only allows water to go this way. So when the pitcher pump is pulling water, it draws it up, and this right here only goes this way, so this valve closes, so the pitcher pump cannot draw from the electric pump side. I hope that helps explain that basic setup, and again, I couldn't find it online, so I went ahead and drew this and figured this out myself, and it seems to be working for several months now, no problems, so all's good. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this video and release it. If you see a better way, or if you know how to do this and I did something wrong, go ahead and put it in the comments, because this is the best I saw, and it's not saying it's the only way or whatever, but it's the way that worked, because I couldn't find a resource for this.